All right, Black Goose TV family. We're going to be listening and reacting to the infamous Rolly Romero, the young boxer with the heavy feet, the unorthodox style. You know what I'm saying? A lot of outsiders looking in want to say fundamentally does all the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? Has the voice of an annoying ass angel. All that shit. Nah, for real though. Let's hear what Rolly got to say, man. I'm reacting to this particular video because I'm like, why not? Rolly always has some very interesting takes when it comes to the boxing community. He's very, very unapologetic. He says how he feels and he feels how he says. And a lot of time, you got a lot of people who feel a certain way about those things that he said, but that's why I appreciate his personality. Now, before all you Blair Cobb fans come at me, you're like, what? Blair the Flair, he does the same thing. And you went crazy on him. Look, I ain't never said I'm always unbiased. Sometimes I am biased. I'll admit it. I don't care. And I'm somewhat of a Rolly fan. And I like to hear when he talk his shit. So because of that, I'm going to entertain it. So y'all can feel however y'all want. Y'all can hate me for it. Y'all can love me for it. At the end of the day, y'all can't say no shit because I already said it. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. It ain't no secret. So, y'all either rock with me or you don't. But let's go ahead and get into this reaction video right here. This ain't gonna be too long. Hopefully, we'll see. I just want to hear, what I'm saying, Rolly's perspective on the upcoming fight of Dillian Whyte and Fury. And let's see if I even get far enough to hear what he has to say about Canelo versus Bivol. I don't plan to watch this whole 5 minutes. Hell the fuck no. Maybe like two. Maybe like two. But let's see what young Rolly has to say now that he's back in the spotlight and it has nothing to do with any type of allegations. Yeah.
Because you love punchers. Does the puncher Dillian Whyte have a good shot of knocking out Tyson Fury?
Bro, Tyson Fury fucking ain't gonna win, man. I'm sorry to say, man. That's difficult. I want to see Tyson Fury versus Usyk. I like Usyk a lot, man. Usyk is a very, 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 very smart fighter. I hope he.
So when I hear Rolly do his little analyst, what I'm saying, his analysis like this, I said that wrong. His analyst like this, what I'm saying, analyzing the game, saying his opinion. You got to respect him because especially when it's outside of his opponents, all of the, all the emotion and all the show and, building up his fight goes out the door. A lot of people want to get on him because he says, very particular things or very interesting things like, I ain't got no game plan going into Gervonta Davis fight, et cetera, et cetera. But you see when he starts speaking about other fights, when he starts speaking about other stylistic matchups, he's very intelligent. Can't take away from his boxing IQ. And actually you could, because what I'm saying, at the end of the day, motherfuckers gonna hate on a motherfucker regardless. But if you're looking at this unbiasedly, no emotion, anybody who appreciates Usyk as a boxer, come on now, you gotta respect it.
Makes out this war thing, alive and all this stuff, because I hear Putin doesn't like them boxers, man. And
I don't know where he heard that, but okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I heard you don't like, and I hope all those boxers come out safe, and and all this stuff,
But you usually don't like a guy who's not a puncher, but why then do you like Usyk?
I like Usyk, man. I like his personality, man.
He's strange.
Like
They're both strange.
He's a great fighter, and he just has a really good personality, man. Like you could tell, man. I'm pretty sure if you go to the gym and he's around, man, it's like it's a good vibe, man. It's like Tyson Fury, man. I can't take either or, as far as like, I think Tyson Fury wins a fight, Tyson Fury is just bigger, and or Tyson Fury would just make everything complicated for everybody, But I think I just want to see what Usyk.
Like the realness coming from Rolly right now, man. I really do, and I think this side of Rolly needs to be presented a little bit more because I think too much we always see like the goofy Rolly or saying outlandish shit Rolly Romero or what I'm saying, but let's be real. This type of this type of personality's been out there. Like y'all know way back when it hasn't been that long ago with December, but when Issa Cruz ended up being the replacement for Rolly. There was an interview of Rolly, like right after they were asking about the allegations and the replacement fight, and he was the first person to make it known. He was like, "Look, man, Issa Cruz versus Gervonta was going to happen regardless. He said that was the original fight Gervonta was going to fight. He said, I fucked it up because I activated my mandatory. When I activated my mandatory, now Gervonta has to fight me. So he's you know, when you get him in a situation, he's real. He'll tell you the real.
Usyk does to try to figure out Tyson Fury, you know, because it's an awkward fighter versus honestly, Usyk's a little awkward too, you know.
Awkward fighter versus awkward
it's
fighter.
just gonna be a good fight, you know. And I'm very feel about the fight. I'm very feel about the fight.
Yeah, he knew he didn't say no shit. He said, I very feel about the fight. Whatever the fuck you trying to say. We know what you meant, dog.
Thanks, Rolly. Did you see the Talentino fight?
No, I didn't watch it. I heard he.
Performance.
Yeah, I heard he really good. My dad had told me, man. I don't really watch boxing like I used to.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
It's
I want
a
to
good
see what he
sport.
has to say
Hey,
about
hey,
the Canelo Bivol fight.
You know, and because that kills the suspense. But I mean, like, let's say for instance, let's do a fight that.
75. And Kovalev won some rounds at 75. Bivol's younger, fresher than Kovalev. But no.
I just feel if Canelo took the fight, that means Canelo's gonna win. There was a lot of other options. So if Canelo took the,
so he's on. So you know the first half of the video, when he was speaking on Tyson Fury, and Dillian Whyte, very, very, very unbiased. Now we're talking about Canelo. Here comes the biased Rolly. He's over there with PBC and Showtime and Floyd. So the first thing, you know what I'm saying, the first thing I hear people say, like, he had other options. So if he took this fight, obviously he was, you know, there was something he saw that he felt like he could lose. Why does that always have to be the case? Why can't it ever come down to the fact of business, right? If Canelo is self-made, how do you know DAZN didn't give him majority of the control with this fight, where PBC was probably like, well, yeah, you can have control to the extent, but we still got to air it on Showtime type shit like we're seeing with Munguia versus Charlo.
fight, that means he found that must have been the easiest one.
There was a chicken arm.
He got Triple G as his third fight. Triple G has been his toughest test to date, other than Arizona Laura.
I mean, if he fights, I'm taking Canelo. You can't take Canelo. I mean, you cannot take Canelo in every single one of these fights. Like, bro, like if you take Canelo, there's like a 95% chance you're gonna win. It doesn't matter who he fights.
So he was mixed up a little bit there, but he did contradict himself. I think he meant if Canelo takes the fight, there's a 95% chance that you lose. But then remember before that, he had also said, you know, he didn't take the other fight, so he picked Bivol. So obviously he feels like he wins. And then the reporter then goes on to ask, well, how do you think Benavidez would do? And then he ends up saying, well, I still got to pick Canelo because at the end of the day, anyone who fights him has a 95% chance of losing. So obviously the statement that he said before, where Canelo picking Bivol was the easiest fight, I'm like, come on, man, you in the same bandwagon as everyone else. Even if you're not the fan, it's hard to see Canelo losing to just about any of these options they're presenting to him right now. He's just that goddamn good. I think his biggest chance at losing is against Triple G.
Tyson Fury, and somehow he's gonna fucking win by decision. And I'm not gonna say he won the fight, but somehow there's a lot of money behind Canelo right now, right?
Interesting. He tied everything back, so he didn't contradict himself. He's basically saying that there's so much money behind Canelo. Who's gonna have enough power, marketing, promotional, you know what I'm saying, money behind them to make it make sense for them to beat Canelo, right? You're losing too much money seeing Canelo lose, so it doesn't matter who he's in the ring with, they'll figure out to give Canelo the win. That's what Rolly's saying. So he's alluding to him having so much money behind him. There's no way that anyone's going to give him an L unless he gets knocked out. Interesting.
Maybe Tyson Fury is a bad example because there are a lot of, you know, he could go fight a cruiserweight right now, and I guarantee you Canelo's going to win.
Makaboo.
I guarantee you. Did Bullet leave my fucking keys? Where's my key?
Well, that's an interesting. Well, I won't say it's interesting. I actually think a lot of people feel that way. You know what I'm saying? If you're not necessarily a fan of Canelo or you don't appreciate his skill, a lot of people think that way. A lot of people think there's so much money behind him. You know, it doesn't matter who he fights. At the end of the day, as long as it goes to that, you know, decision, that 12 rounds, they're always going to give it to him because they're not going to want to lose the money. Obviously, I don't agree with that. But a lot of people feel that way, man. I want to know what you guys think about that. I want to go ahead and react to what Rolly said. Rolly always says some controversial shit. And I won't lie, at the beginning of the video, I agree with a lot he was saying. I was like, I like it. Then, the second half, when we started talking about Canelo, that's when the bias comes in. But hey, who knows? He may, he's in the sport, he's in the business, so he probably knows the dirty shit going on more than I do. But at the end of the day, you still got to appreciate the man's skill level. And Canelo's skill level was off the charts. But either way it goes, man, I'm done for the day. Y'all make sure y'all check out all the content I'm dropping today. Make sure you check out the content from yesterday. And make sure you check out the podcast tonight. Nothing but love. I'm out of here, Black Goose family. Salute!